What is going on, you dead set legends? And welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one controversy settling arm wrestling show on the planet. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler. And of course, I looked up the dictionary and I looked up Ryan Bowen and it said noun controversy. Ladies and gentlemen, my man, Ryan Bowen. Ryan, excuse the language, but fuck me. I just wanted to enjoy a Ryan Bowen win, and now it's gone absolutely nuts.
I think it's been officially labelled a draw from what I read on Instagram. They've said no, not a victory, and it goes down in the record books as a draw due to me not making weight at the official weigh-in time. But yeah, man, is what it is. That we move on. So yeah.
Well, we don't move on yet. We move on after.
Not yet. Yes.
But just first, everyone, just letting you know, this isn't me sticking up for my mate. Tom Holland has been invited onto the show. In fact, it was Ryan's idea to get Tom on the show, so there's not back and forth with hearsay. We settle it here. Up and about. So Tom said he was out. He says if he can jump on the show. So this isn't, this isn't just, going to look after me, mate, Ryan, but we'll get in there. So, I mean, I'll try and guide it through. So first off, it started off as a disqualification. You were disqualified and Tom got the win. First thoughts of when you heard that, and then give us your thoughts when, I think it was only a few hours ago. It was another change of the mind.
Okay.
It was
to be honest, I didn't watch the live video that Tom and Will did. I haven't watched the live video, but I've had obviously plenty of people tell me sort of a summary of what was going on. But like I said, where I got information that it was written as a draw was just literally the Instagram post that they made where it said overturned or whatever. And on that, their description read that it will be seen as a draw. Look. For me, the first thing that I say is, look, I accept whatever their decision that they've made. That's fine. I'll take responsibility for it. I'm happy to say that, look, so the absolute reality of the situation was I made 86 kilos 48 hours prior to the event. At the time of the official weigh-ins, I had rehydrated, recarbed up, salt loaded, and was the morning of the official weigh-in, I was weighing about 94 kilos, and
so what time was the official weigh-in?
It was the official weigh-in was prior to the press conference, and the press conference was, we had to be at the press conference at like 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, so it was sometime around 2:00 or something like that on whatever day that press conference was. It was naturally, so when I was there at that press conference, we were getting the brief from the press conference. They said, Ryan, come jump on the scales. They all freaked out because, like I said, I was wearing shoes, I was wearing jeans, I was wearing a jacket. I just eaten lunch, nice pizza from across the road, and was back to the fully hydrated, fully glycemic index up, fully salt loaded version of me. And I stepped on the scales in that condition at 219 pounds, which freaked everyone out, saying, whoa, weren't you meant to be 86 kilos? Now, the 48 hours prior to the event, I weighed in at 188 pounds, which was 85.3 kilos.
So
now the full
I'll stop you there. So
yeah,
you've weighed in 48 hours. So all I'm hearing, there's some docked, fixed video.
Yeah. Okay. So, I sent. Whether Tom's sent the video on to others or not, I don't know. But yeah, I sent the video of myself weighing in. Now I weighed in at the Marriott scales, so I have my own scales with me in my hotel room to help me prepare and know where I was at. I took those scales with me to the Marriott where the sauna was, And those two scales lined up really, really well. They were spot on the same. For the sake of picking which scales looked more credible, I went with the Marriott scales because it was the sliding bar scales as opposed to the spring-loaded $9 Kmart version of scales that I had, which was bought for me just to help guide me down to the 86 kilos. They lined up, so I filmed it, sent it to Tom. Now, the first thing that I take responsibility for and that I accept is that I mistimed it. I should have done it in a way that lined up with the official weigh-in days. The reason I didn't do that was I was nervous about making weight. And about 3 weeks prior to the event, I messaged Tom and said, "Hey man, I'm 93 kilos at the moment." So this is a couple of days after Christmas. I messaged him and said, "I'm 93 kilos at the moment. I'm already carb free and 93 kilos." So I knew that my water weight was pretty low in my body, in my intracellular water weight at that time. I said, "I'm 93 kilos, got to get to 86. Are you cool with me doing a 48-hour weigh-in?" And I said to him, "I genuinely don't know whether I'll make it to 86, but I'll give it a red-hot crack." And he said to me, "Yeah, mate, no dramas, happy. Thank you for the transparency. Give it your best shot. You don't want to be that guy who doesn't make 86 kilos. Look, if you don't make it, so be it, but I won't let you forget it." And it was all just cool, like casual, as Tom is a pretty cool dude, pretty chill, generally speaking. And I know in the past, Tom has been someone who's certainly happy to take on heavier guys. But yeah, so me coming down from 93 or thereabouts when I was already carb free was the situation I was in. And it was something that I've done poorly in the past, weight cuts. So I was nervous about it, and hence I requested to Will and Chris, the organizers, can I do a 48-hour weigh-in? And they said, "Look, that is between..."
Text message. So for those saying that you're lying, it is in a text message you asking for a 48-hour weigh-in.
Yes, and they said that will be between you and Tom. And that again, look, I'll take responsibility that I should have been far more. I should have had that conversation again with them closer to the event. I didn't. I took that conversation from there as, look, it's between me and Tom to sort out. So, and again, I kind of draw on my past experiences with Knuckles Up, like when I pulled Andrei Sharkovich. We were a 105 kilo match officially. I communicated to Andre at the time, "Hey, I'm way lighter than 105. I'm 94. Can we make it 100? And Andre at the time said, "No, I don't want to go down to 100. I'm going to stay up here." And he did, and I didn't even see the dude weigh in, so I wouldn't have a clue what Andre actually weighed in. I think he was 106 or something at the official ones with clothes and all that sort of stuff. So, and I was 94 or whatever, and so I had an experience in the past of the situation regarding weigh-ins really being between the two athletes and the official weigh-ins being somewhat of a ceremonial thing as opposed to a hard, rigid, here everyone must make weight. So it was my mistake that I made the assumption that it was kind of the same deal. It was between me and Tom, and we make weight and we get on with the show. So I didn't expect the official weigh-ins to be treated in a way where it was going to be like, whoa, here's the hard, rigid line that you got to be prepared for. My mistake, I should have had the conversation with Will and Chris again, as opposed to just taking the one from 3 weeks prior and thinking that it could be okay to just be between me and Tom. Now, when I got to the USA, I had a big process to get to 86 kilos. I got to my hotel late at night on Wednesday night in the USA. We're competing Saturday. So I took diuretics on Wednesday night and started to piss out all of the weight that I had. And I got down to 89.5 kilos that I woke up at the next morning. So I still had 3.5 kilos to go in the sauna. And I went to the sauna around 10:30, 11:30 a.m. over at the Marriott, which is about a 2-minute walk from the hotel that we were staying at. And I got in the sauna, and it was, if anyone's ever done that, it's a pretty rough experience. I was doing 10-minute stints, then I was doing 6-minute stints, then I was doing 3-minute stints. there was no plunge pool to cool me down afterwards. So the heart rate gets very high, and it gets longer and longer and longer between stints because you just feel like dog shit. Now, for me, as I got closer to it, it was very nauseous, very drawn out. And the final 500 grams, as anyone who's done a big water cut would know, is really, really, really quite medically dangerous. Yeah, your heart rate's sitting up around 150. So once I made weight, I videoed it. I got an old bugger at the sauna, some random old guy, hold the camera, film it for me on the bar scales. I said to him, look, can you film, make sure you get all my feet in there? He did that well. He zoomed in on the bar scales. He showed the 188 pounds that I was. And I sent that to Tom. And my mistake was, again, that just thinking that that's okay. I read Tom's response to that as he was a little bit annoyed that I did it 48 hours early. He said to me, oh, yeah, it's a bit early, mate, but okay, thanks for the video. I won't share it with anyone because I said to him, please don't share the video. I look like dog shit in my underwear, all depleted and all that sort of stuff. And he said, yeah, no dramas. So I made the assumption due to my expectations of it being casual, of Tom being someone who is a casual guy, that was the green light. Now, given that medically it's hard to be in a position where your heart rate's at 150, I couldn't have stayed at that weight for another 24 hours. If I was to stay there, it would have been a bad decision medically. It would have been a big risk to stay that dehydrated for that long.
My question before I read a super chat, and I will have to double check super chats because if you just Robert Gould, yours is fine, even though you're not a fan of Ryan's. But so then, why did you go? Why did you go hard 48 hours beforehand?
Well, the truth was, I was like, yeah. So I went for it because I as I expressed to Tom, I wasn't sure I was even going to make it, and naturally you want as much time as you can to be able to recover if you're going to push yourself hard, and hence I'd asked for that 48 hours and mentioned it to Tom and all that sort of stuff. And those guys that expressed, oh yeah, it seems a bit early, but the truth is, it's a big weight cut, and I was just genuinely unsure whether I'd even make it and how I'd even handle it. Based on my previous water cuts that I'd done, I didn't handle those well. So as much time as I could have given the travel and all that sort of stuff, like it's a big journey from Australia to the USA. It's 21 hours in the air, and yeah, it was just long. Let's see. Yeah, let's get to weight as soon as we can. Obviously, that is always going to be something that everyone would prefer as an athlete. I know that when Devin pulled Oleg Petrenko, I think from what I've seen, he weighed in 36 hours early or something like that, and went down to 105 and then was back up around 115, 116 or something like that when he competed. So it's the nature of the beast when you are doing a water cut. That's how it rolls. And 48 hours prior, like truthfully, I had discovered about the water cut process in this instance that 24 hours after the water cut, I actually felt amazing. So on the night of the official weigh-in, when I was back to my full normal rehydrated weight, I actually felt fine. I thought, look at that, I could have done the 24 hours before in line with the official weigh-in and been perfectly ready to compete the next day. So I've learned that for next time. That's why I'm confident that if Knuckles Up wants a rematch, if Tom wants a rematch, yeah, let's do a live weigh-in. We'll do it together, 86 kilos on the exact same set of scales. No worries at all.
Well, we'll get to a rematch in a moment. I'm just going to read Robert Gould's super chat, and then I just want to find out where the kind of miscommunication happened. Because for me, it appears that this is what it's kind of all come down to. Because I spent a lot of time with both of you, but Robert Gould says, I just reread those messages because you did release the messages and he never accepted a 48-hour weigh-in. I don't see you even asking him. He said you were premature and the weigh-ins are tomorrow. You're not telling the truth, says Robert.
Robert Gould, fair enough. So I requested directly a 48-hour weigh-in to the Knuckles Up guys. They said talk to Tom. Now I talked to Tom 3 weeks prior, saying, "Hey man, I'm not sure if I'm going to make weight, yada yada yada." As you can see in those messages, he says to me, "Give it your best shot. If you don't make 86, so be it. But look, get as close as you can." Yada yada yada. As you can see in those messages. Now the 48 hours. Once we were there, once it was happening, that was. I didn't need to spell it out that it was 48 hours because Tom was alive in the same moment. We knew it was 48 hours. We were talking to each other and I'm telling him, hey, I'm at weight right now. So I didn't need to say, hey, Tom, can I do it 48 hours earlier? I was saying, Tom, I'm at weight right now. Here's the video right now. Yes, it's 48 hours. I didn't need to spell that out in a text message because it was very, very clear because that's when I was talking to him. He said to me, you've done it a bit early. In those text messages, yes, which I can see he was disappointed that I'd done it a bit early, but what was I to do? I'd done it then. I was that weight. Medically, I had to rehydrate. If I didn't, I would have been risking my health. So I rehydrated. I recarbed. It is what it was. Tom messaged me the next day, which are text messages that I didn't share, saying, "Hey man, you could." And I think he did share this in his interview, where he said to me, "Hey, you can be 90 kilos if you want," and I'll say I was 86. When he sent me that message, I was already 94, 95 kilos by then. I'd already rehydrated, recarbed, was eating again, and it would have been impossible for me to go and redo that process of getting back down to 90 kilos. So I didn't. I just stayed rehydrated.
Okay, yeah. So clearly, a lot of people, of course, are disagreeing with you, Ryan, and they're saying that Tom said no.
Yeah, I've seen all the opinions that some people think I was never even under 100 kilos. Well, look, the internet will do what it will do. Everyone will form their own opinion. But look, Tom takes me at my word that I made 86 kilos. I sent him the video. I used the Marriott scales. I didn't use the dodgy scales that were in the hotel that we were all at, which were way off. I've heard people say that I use those scales as well. If you look at the backgrounds, you look at the scales themselves, they're very clearly not the same scales. I'm at the Marriott, not at the Hyatt. But yeah, look, it is what it is. People will draw their own conclusions. But the very basic facts from my perspective is I requested a 48-hour weigh-in to the organizer 3 weeks prior. They said, but it'll have to be between you and Tom. Tom expressed to me, look, if you give it your best shot, if you don't make it, I won't let you live it down. We had a bit of a laugh. Cool. I said, I'll start losing weight as soon as I get to the USA, which I did. I made the weight in those scales. I sent him the video. He said, oh, mate, it's a bit early. But okay, I can acknowledge that this is where you're at and I won't share the video. I rehydrated. We went to the official weigh-ins. They asked me to weigh in. I was 219 pounds dressed and fed. We had the match. That's what happened. Like, for me, it's a storm that is bigger than is needed to be. Like I said, I'm more than happy to have a live weigh-in rematch. 86 kilos. If anyone doesn't think that I was 86, you'll quickly find out that I was, because it'll be easier for me to do it again this time, because I've now experienced in reaching 86, and I'll probably lean up a touch more to make it a kilo even easier for me to reach. So if I was to jump on the scales right now dressed, I would be somewhere around 95 kilos.
Okay, so then you would feel that, yeah. So you're saying, so what I'm seeing is you've just kind of misinterpreted Tom having banter with you in the chat, as in, yep, that's all right, beers on me.
Well, yeah. In some respects, Tom never explicitly said to me, "Okay, cool, I'll accept this," but it was how I read his tone, his casual tone. I read it that way. So that's my mistake, and I apologize to Tom for that. Apologize to the Knuckles Up organizers for not involving them more actively in the conversation, so we could avoid them having an athlete at the official weigh-ins be so heavy compared to what the reported numbers were going to be. So I've spoken to Will and Chris, spoken to Tom in that respect, and I hope that they can understand the position I was in. But there was no question I made 86 kilos 48 hours prior. I absolutely did. And like I said, I'll happily demonstrate that again. But if they want a rematch, I spoke to Will and Chris today and said, look, if we did a rematch, we'd do a live weigh-in where both of you guys can step on the exact same set of scales, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to.
Is there any responsibility on the promotion? Because I was watching the press conference, and Will, who is one half of the owners, his jacket will tell you that as well, just started getting stuck into you. So should have something been dealt with then, or is it because you won now that it's all...
Yeah, well, I think hindsight is a good thing. It does. I don't know what the promoters think in that respect, but I think that they will certainly have checks and balances in place moving forward. I think that at that time, yes, it could have been discussed. Well, it all happened very quickly because we stepped on the scales probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes max before the press conference went live. So it was all very fresh for everyone, and everyone in the room was just saying, "What the hell, Ryan's 100 kilos or thereabouts." And it was just kind of the laughing topic of the moment. And so then the press conference goes live, and yeah, Will presented it as a big controversy. So from then on, there was no time to explain to anyone what the reality of the story was, as we have now. And so there was a lot more heat in that. So I think that, yeah, they wouldn't have. I think if they could have their time again, we would have had a much more in-depth conversation about what was going on. They would have perhaps made a declaration straight away that, look, Ryan hasn't made the official weigh-in of 86 kilos on the official time, so we're going to declare this match a dead rubber in the respect to that 86, but we're going to have it anyway. And Tom's keen to pull Ryan. Ryan's keen to pull Tom. And here's why we've made that decision. Ryan weighed in a day early. He shouldn't have. Naughty boy Ryan. Okay, I would have accepted that, and we would have had the match, and then that would have been the accepted reality of the match going into it. I think that's how they would have liked to have done it. But I think next time they will just be far more clear about when weigh-ins are to happen. I think they'll probably remove the rule that they've kind of allowed athletes to sort it out between themselves. They'll probably step in and say, no, look, if we're doing this at this weight, we're doing this at this weight. And we're going to weigh in official for everyone, as opposed to a ceremonial style weigh in. So I think that the promoters will have no doubt learned.
Okay.
As we all do. We all make mistakes, we all learn. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll ask everyone in the chat, because I asked, should Ryan have been disqualified? 56% say yes, 21% say no, and 23% say it should have been a no contest, which it's kind of deemed now. So now I just quickly want to ask everyone. Now, if you guys have legit questions, and also hit the like button when you're in there. Hit the like button for me, guys, not what you think of the topic. Would you like a rematch? Would you like a rematch?
I will say I've had 3 promoters already message myself and Tom in group chats and say, we got to make this rematch happen. Well, let's do a 24-hour weigh-in. Let's do it live. So it seems like the promoters want it. Naturally, Knuckles Up are the first people in the rights to such a thing. I haven't heard directly from Tom whether he's keen for it or not. But look, like I said, I learned from the weight cut process that I am fine 24 hours after it. I don't need 48 hours. So I'd be more than happy to do it, and confident that I could demonstrate very clearly to the entire arm wrestling community that 86 kilos is achieved. Yeah.
Well, Arm Sports Entertainment have Arizona State June 6th. I'll be there. So, of course, I'm going to be selfish and say you better have the rematch there if Tom agrees. Everyone, I did invite Tom Holland onto the show. He is out in a moment, and he was hoping to join in Yeah, he said he'll try and get on there. So how do you feel about the outrage of being called a liar and a cheat? Because I've seen some of the messages. I haven't seen all the messages, and I can see both. I can see how you went. I think the conversation went awesome. Thanks, beers on me. So I can see how you've misinterpreted Tom's tone, but I haven't seen all the messages. I wasn't at dinner and at lunches and all the conversation you guys are having. But do you think this has been 30, 40% heightened because it is you?
I have no doubt that I attract controversy in respect, and the internet enjoys the internet enjoys that fact. So I think that if this had have been Jason Merlo and Bogdan Stoica, people would be much more toned down in terms of how outraged they are over it. So look, that's fine with me. It doesn't worry me at all. Like I said, I on this one, I've avoided reading the majority of comments. I've read little bits and pieces, summaries. I've read Reddit. I haven't read the YouTube comments at all. But yeah, look, I'm kind of in a place where it's like I just accept that's my reality in the ecosystem of this sport. Is what it is, man. I won't ever stop arm wrestling. I love the sport too much. I feel like I'm getting really good progress at the moment in a physical sense. My training's at a great level, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with the body weight. So 86 kilos class is where I will be pursuing the international scene. And with time, over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, especially, I'll get even better at making 86 kilos. I still have 2, 3, 4 kilos, I reckon, of body fat that I could get rid of. I'm not as lean as other athletes yet, but I'm on the path now. So I'm comfortable with it. I get it. Look, if I have to operate in this ecosystem where people want to say I'm a compulsive liar and people say that he never really made the weight and people wish me poorly in matches, then look, so be it. Whatever.
I would be curious to know with everyone in the chat and the public outcry, whether on social media, of how many people actually bought the interview. Now, a lot of people are asking about the aftermath video. I'll admit I haven't watched the aftermath video. I saw, I think, a thumbnail of you and Tom. So I thought it was fine.
The aftermath video was just me thanking Tom for the match, thank you for the good war, thank you for the event, as I always will do. And I addressed briefly the weigh-in controversy then, which was at a much smaller level. The only detail I omitted then was the 48-hour time. But I did detail all the other respects that I didn't make weight at the official weigh-in time, but made it prior, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was essentially the same story, just a much more summarized version of what I've given you tonight.
Okay, and okay. I'm just saying because I think I'm just trying to read some of the comments here because I mean, and it's really hard to separate some of these ones because I know with you, Ryan, I've spent enough time with you. Like everyone was quick to kick the boots in, stick the boots in and give it to you. Brandon, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He thinks you're delusional. Which is standard. I appreciate it, Brandon. And hit the like button for me, guys. Thanks for everyone tuning in. We'll probably go for about another 10, 15 minutes. And everyone's asking me to bring Neil Pickup on. Not sure if we need that at the moment. I love Neil. Maybe Neil and I can have a chat in a couple of days and he can come on the show. But I really wanted Tom on. I really wanted Tom. He said he was out and things like that because we just kind of need to know where it all fell apart. Where you're admitting
Well,
you fucked up by doing the
truly,
48
I truly believe. Yeah, you were spot on before with what you said, Jake. The real breakdown is, and I take responsibility for it, is my assumption that Tom was cool with the 48 hours. That's the bigger. Tom wasn't cool with the 48 hours, is what I understand now, and he was disappointed that that's what I when I did it. And I accept that, and like I said, I'll do it again. No worries at all if he wants the rematch, and I'm happy with the knuckles up decision to call it a no result, whatever they've called it, a draw, whether they called it a win to him, whatever they decide, I'm cool with it. We go again if we do, and we find out what happens when it's only a 24-hour weigh-in. That's perfectly fine. So I think that it all broke down there on my assumption that he was cool with the 48 hours. That's it.
And now Tommy's saying that he wasn't cool. Because
Yeah,
I tried to watch the Tom Holland interview, and it just got a bit cringy at some stages. Not on Tom's behalf. I was just a bit like, oh, can we just let Tom talk and tell his side? But I didn't have the concentration span to let it go. So Tom is now saying that he.
Well, I haven't seen any of the interviews that he has done, but I can assure you that yes, he's expressed to me that he wasn't cool with the 48 hours. But yeah, that's it. He says he wasn't cool with it, which is okay. I get it. That's fine. And I was in a position where I had no other choice but to run with where I was at. I did the 48-hour weigh-in. I had to rehydrate medically. It's that simple for me.
Okay. So I'm just trying to have a look. So someone asked because I believe Knuckles Up invited you on. Why didn't you go? Well, I'm of course selfishly happy that you came on.
Why didn't I go on that? I have, believe it or not, I've been trying my best for about a year and a half to steer clear of controversy, Jake. Believe it or not, I've tried to just put my head down and train and do nothing else, and not talk about how I'm going to go in a match, not talk about my opponent, not talk about anything. And so I said that they invited me onto the podcast, and I said to them, look, I'd prefer not to get on and fan flames of controversy. Here's the story from my respect. I gave it to them privately, and said, you guys, I'm happy with whatever decision you guys make. Go ahead on the podcast, but I prefer to steer clear of it. That was why I didn't go on the podcast. But with the I guess the reaction of the community since that podcast, it became appropriate that I got on and said something. So here I am.
Okay. Yeah. Just having a look. There's some really angry people. Neil is in the chat. How you going, Neil? He says, I'd be worried about having me on as well, Jake. Ryan, you're an excellent arm wrestler, and undeniably entertaining. Arm wrestling would be a darker, more boring place without you in it.
Yeah. Look, with the highlights so far, thank you, Neil. The highlight so far of this fallout has been, for me, Devin Larratt sharing a story where he was sitting there drinking a cup of juice, and he said, I think I'll have another one. And he says, I'm 250 pounds right now, but I swear I could be 86 kilos at any time. So I enjoyed Devin actually taking a poke at me as well. But anyway, look, it is. I controversy does follow me. I guess I'm to blame. And it's usually because I'm pretty straightforward with whatever is on my mind, and it often gets me in trouble. But hey, yeah, I appreciate the comment, Neil, the support on the arm wrestling front. We'll carry on. Unfortunately, for everyone who wants me to quit, this is a sport that goes on forever, and I'm probably only realistically about 1/3 of the way through my journey in the sport.
I just, you brought it up before, so I probably want to get more of an understanding. So at the moment, you've said, yeah, I've misinterpreted Tom. I've stuffed up big time. A lot of people are complaining that you are weighing 97, 98, 99 kilos of the match. But everyone weighs 5 to 10 kilos even more heavier than what they're supposed to be. And so I want to get an understanding from and people can personally message me if you want on Instagram, if you want to, because I've got a couple of super chats to read, about why it's a problem for Ryan and not anyone else. Like Todd Dilla's about to go for the 95 kilo title, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll surely compete at 103 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, why did you struggle with the weight cut? Unprofessional management or something else? Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Good question. Struggling with the weight cut is look, a weight cut of anywhere close to 10% of your overall body weight is going to be a struggle, no matter who you are. That's my experience. My definition of struggle is more linked to how I feel afterward. I've attempted weight cuts in the past and felt terrible after it. So this was approached to this time done in a manner that I'd never done before. I was guided by Paul Lynn. Used a protocol very, very similar to what he regularly uses, and it turned out to be a really good weight cut in the respect that 24 hours after I made the weight, I actually felt really good. I was rehydrated. It felt energetic. So I now know that the process works quite well with my body, and I think I could even do it better next time. So my process, if you want to know, I'll happily describe it. It was roughly 1 month of eating zero carb. About 7 days out from the event, I took 7,000 milligrams of salt, 7 liters of water per day. That causes your body to retain water and gets your body to start saying, hey, I've got too much salt, too much water in the intracellular level, and starts pushing out water of your body. I maintained that degree of salt and water for 3 days straight, and then you start the reduction process, dropping it down to 5 liters, 3 liters, 2 liters, 1 liter, nothing. And the salt, the milligrams of salt kind of goes in line with that. You get to 24 hours out from the event, and because you preloaded so much salt and water into your body, your body's in a state where it's trying to drive out water, helps you to actually lose the weight on the day. But when you fly a long haul flight, for example, and you've just done all this salt and water loading, you get an increase in intracellular water retention due to the air pressure, the extended time, a lesser air pressure in the cabin of a long haul flight. So if you have a look at photos of me, anytime I've flown overseas, when I depart Brisbane and then arrive at wherever I'm going, I will look puffy in the face when I arrive because of the long haul flight and that water retention. So I get to New York and I'm actually pretty heavy at that point. I was like, when I arrived at the hotel, Mario Tembarkis was on the same flight as me. He was laughing, saying, oh man, you got a big weight cut to do. I was 95.5 kilos when I arrived at the hotel because of, as I've described, the salt water loading that was part of that process. Now, at that point in time, I took diuretic, which gets you start to piss like a racehorse, and I woke up the next morning at 89.5 kilos, having lost 5 or 6 kilos of weight overnight due to diuretics. Now, the water that is assisted by the fact that you've stopped with the salt and the water, and your body is pushing out water on an intracellular level. The rest was done in the sauna, and once you make weight and the process then of a rehydration is to smash down about 1 liter of water with salts in it as well. So all your electrolytes and all this stuff to prevent cramping and prevent medical situations going wrong. Then I would drink another liter of water every hour for pretty much the next 5 to 6 hours. So you're forcing a lot of water back in, and you're increasing your salt intake once again to try to get that water retention in your intracellular level to actually take hold. And so that's what I did. I was consuming salt, literal just rock salt, at the same time as drinking a liter of water an hour, at the same time of reintroducing carbohydrates into my body. The carbohydrates also increase the intracellular water levels. And the net result of that is I woke up at about 94 kilos on the day of the official weigh-in, having all of that. And that's where we then added shoes and jeans and clothes and a pizza, and then the weigh-in, and the 219 pounds is what happened.
So before I get the super chats in a moment, so basically you did make the 86 kilos just
100%.
Just like when I first met Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler, you just did it prematurely.
Yes. Yes, mate.
All righty, let me read some super chats, and then if anyone's got some proper questions, just not trying to flog Ryan. So he officially made the 86 kilos. He's admitted that he's got it wrong at the wrong time, misinterpreted Tom. So I'll try and get through some things. But Robert Gould, Robert Gould's been a supporter of the channel for years. Thank you, Robert. He says, yes, thank you, Ryan. That is what I wanted to see you say, that Tom wasn't okay with the 48 hours. Maybe you misinterpreted because of the cut and read what you wanted to read. Take some blame on you. Move on.
Yes. Appreciate it, Rob. That's a pretty much spot on summary of it. Text messages are always difficult to read correctly. I mean, if anyone who's ever tried to have a conversation with someone via text message, when you're arguing with each other or something like that, it's pretty easy to get tone, as you say, to read something the way you want to read it. So, yeah, I was heart rate 150, struggling my ass off on the floor of a sauna. I'm reading it the way I want to read it.
And you've got the video.
Yeah, I've got the video. Absolutely, I've shared it to Tom. I haven't made it public because I'm in my jocks looking pretty sad and miserable. Yes.
Okay. All righty. Yeah. I was going to say, because you could post it, but that would help. Megatron says, Ryan, as heels, we win by any means necessary. I enjoy your matches. Now it's time to call out Orton again. No weight issues, BS.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Megatron. Man, yeah, someone needs to play the villain, and it seems that I'm locked in that category for sure. Look, I hope I get the look regarding Orton. I think Artem Taranenko is going to win just quietly. So I don't think Orton will even get to a point where he asks me for a match. But regarding a rematch with Tom, look, yeah, I hope that happens. I'll play the villain, no worries at all. And like I said, we'll do a live weigh-in, and you'll all watch me make 86, and you'll all watch me do it, and then we'll compete. And look, if I'm honest, I think that I felt great 24 hours after the weigh-in, so I'm confident that I'll be in as good a form against Tom if we go again as I was at Knuckles Up.
There you go. And Brandon says, so it's the airplane's fault. Ask anyone that's done long flying. You do put on a lot of weight, and it bothers me.
Yeah, so, it's a factor. It's a factor for my preparation. That's all that is.
There you go. All righty. Let's see. I'll just quickly scroll because, man, I did like the Armenian arm wrestler. Kangaroo Court.
yes, somewhat.
So, okay. Yeah, there's on his own scars, there's a lot of, look, the majority don't like you. They're annoyed. They're calling bullshit. Standard.
The only way we'll work out whether it was bullshit or not is if we do a live weigh-in rematch. So that's what I've somewhat loosely been offered. So like I said, I'm more than happy to do it. What will everyone think then, Jake? Will they say, "Oh my goodness, he did make it," or "Oh my goodness"? Like visibly, I will look exactly the same. I was walking around at 93 kilos before I got on the plane to leave Australia. So I'll probably this time get down to 92 kilos before I get on the plane this time, because I'll just make it a little bit easier for myself, get rid of a bit more fat. What will they say? What will they say when they see it live themselves?
So, according to the poll, we've had 315 votes, and 56% would like a rematch.
What do the 44% want? They want just me to retire, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I will vote. I would vote yes, because I want it at Sports Entertainment, selfishly, because I'll be there June 6th, and Tim Talmadge is a superstar. So, yeah. So there you go. I'll just have a quick flick through. Otherwise, guys, look, we got Ryan on. We got to hear him. You guys have got to voice your opinions. Neil wants to come on the show, but I don't think I really want this to just be Neil and Ryan going back and forth, and there's history in that. Yes, it'll get me millions and millions of views, but in about 5 minutes I got to go to my commentary job. Yeah, Neil wants the link bad for 5 minutes, so yeah, we'll see how we go. One from Robert Gould. So what's the plan for future weight? Move up to 95 or stay at 86, because now you can make weight with the diuretics, and should it be 85?
Oh, 100%. I will stay with the goal being the 86 kilo class. I'm, like I said, if I jumped on the scales right now, I'm less than 95 kilos. If I took my clothes off and took a piss, I'd be less than 95 kilos. So there's no point in me saying I'm a 95 kilo puller. I've had a really good transformation over the last 3 months. I feel just as strong, maybe even stronger now than I was when I was 108 kilos. I feel better. I got better posture. Everything functionally is really good in the gym. Numbers are progressing well, and I still think I've got 2, 3, 4 kilos of fat to lose comfortably. So, 86 kilo class is where I will be pursuing the best possible world rank that I can. Tom's someone who I highly respect in that class. He's done very well. I don't know what the official ranks are. It gets kind of grey as soon as you get past David Samusha and Nurdle Adarkin, who are number 1 and 2 in the world at that weight. It starts to get murky, but Tom's always been in the conversation at that level. So I'm happy to pursue that. I felt really good against Tom. No one expected me to go into the hook. My inner elbow felt fantastic. I prepared for 3 months. It came through really nicely. I beat him in what is his strongest lane. Even if, regardless of all the weight stuff, what I felt like on the table on the night was really, really good. Midway through round 1, and I think one of the second or third starts, I got a tear in the pec, and it forced me to just go defensive. So I would love to go again and be healed up and be ready. I think I do. Assuming there's no injury in round 1 this time, I think I do really well. Happy to go again.
Okay. Well, I might let Big Loz have the last say, because he's coming in very level-headed. Big Loz, there's a lot of anger going on in the chat. Big Loz says, Ryan, it's not a matter of can you make weight. It's that you ignored what was asked and then made a video saying the weight cut went great. You arm wrestled really well. Make the rematch and do it properly.
Yeah, no dramas, Big Loz. I respect Big Loz. I got to sit next to him at dinner afterwards and have a good chat and all that sort of stuff about the process. But yeah, like I said, I accept responsibility for the mistakes that I made in terms of when I did the weigh-in. But my hands, I ended up tying my own hands, and what I couldn't change it once the ball had started rolling. Once I'd taken those diuretics and was in the sauna and made weight, and you feel as sick as you do when you get down to a 10% of your body weight dehydrate. You can't really do much else other than accept it, move on, and rehydrate. So yeah, if they offer me a rematch, I'll do it, and we'll do it live, and we'll do it 24 hours before.
So then, how did the weight cut go great if you were caught?
Well,
did it go great because you actually made it?
I say it went great because I made weight, and 24 hours later, I felt great. So that for me makes the overall weight cut a success.
Okay.
I now know that I can make 86 kilos and 24 hours later feel good.
Well, beat in a car crash and went, that drive went well. But a couple of comments. Justin King's been a member for 21 months. He says, hit that like button. Thanks for the entertainment, Aussie. Andy Beckett been there for 21 months. And they have multiple entries to win $100, guys. I'm giving away money in a couple of weeks and probably some packets of cards. And if you become an Ultimate Dead Set Legend member, I will send you a packet for free of Series 2 trading cards. And I might even throw in an auto on there. There's some, so people are saying Knuckles Up is responsible for this. Look, I believe, Ryan, and of course I appreciate it, and I've said this to you off camera, in text messages. I've said it to Knuckles Up. I don't think anyone looks good coming out of this. I think it could have all been handled so much better. The whole process, whether it be you not making weight to Tom then coming out and sharing his side of the story, the way Knuckles Up handled it. And I've told Knuckles Up this, so it's not like they're hearing something new because I've worked with Knuckles Up before, and of course I want them to get better. I want everyone to get better. So, yeah, so it all goes from there. Okay, just having a look if anyone's got any final questions. No, I'm a bit understand. Not many people are a fan of Ryan Bowen, but if you can, hit the like button for the Aussie arm wrestler. I've got some big things coming up for this. And guys, you might not like him, but give him a thanks for coming on the show and saying his side of the story, because he didn't have to. He honestly didn't have to, because it's the internet, and we probably all would have forgotten by next week because, we've got Big East versus West coming up with some exciting matches. But he came on, we had a chat, and we'll go there. So Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome, man. Thank you very much. I'll see you at 86 kilos next time.
There you go. Arm Sports Entertainment.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait, I hope it